Today, we begin a new journey. Let's take a closer look. Let's explore the mysteries of these lands. We're going back in time, 316 AD. A Syrian philosopher, Meropius, with his two nephews, they arrived in Aksum, but that day, everything changed. That day, blood was spilled at the port. Meropius died, the others too. Only two remained, Frumentius and Adesius, in a foreign land, captives. Frumentius was 20, a captive in a land he didn't know, but he wasn't afraid, because his faith was strong. King Ezana spared them. Frumentius was intelligent and hardworking. He quickly became the royal treasurer. Adesius entered the king's personal service. Every night, he opened the scroll and read, "The light shines in the darkness." He was a captive, but his faith was free. Years passed. Frumentius connected the Christian merchants coming to Aksum. Quietly, in secret, he formed a small community. One day, the king called Frumentius to his deathbed. He said, "Be a teacher to my sons, be an advisor to the queen, protect this kingdom." Prince Ezana began spending every day with Frumentius. He learned mathematics, history, and language. But Frumentius didn't stop there. He planted the love of faith in his heart. Those nights changed Ezana's life. Frumentius answered every question with patience, and the young prince realized this was not just a story. This was a truth to believe in. When Ezana took the throne, he called Frumentius and Adesius. "You are free," he said. "You may return home." Adesius left, but Frumentius chose to stay. Frumentius went to Alexandria. He said, "Aksum is ready. It needs a bishop." Athanasius smiled. "Can you find anyone better?" And Frumentius became the first bishop of Aksum. That day, Ezana listened to Frumentius, then silence for a long time. His eyes filled with tears, and finally, "I believe too." 330 AD, King Ezana was baptized, and in that moment, Aksum changed. The faith of a captive transformed a kingdom. Aksum, 50 years before Rome, the faith of a captive came first. Ezana's decision didn't stay in words. The coins changed. Pagan symbols were removed. The cross took their place. Ezana did not force it. He used no power. He changed it through faith. People saw it. This was not fear. This was the love of Christ. Once a captive, now he preaches. The king sits before him. In Christianity, there is no master, no slave. One faith, one table. After Ezana, 9 saints arrived, from Syria, Egypt, and beyond. They went to the mountains, spread through the villages. Christianity reached everywhere. The scriptures were translated. Read and gaze. Faith was no longer just for the palace. It belonged to the people. This scene repeated every night. Different villages, same question. Who was Jesus? And every time, an answer was given, one that touched the heart. Churches rose in the mountains. The people carried the stones. No architects, no plans, only faith. And that faith built a home. The faith began with a captive, passed to a prince, spread to a kingdom, reached a continent. Today, millions follow that faith. And Aksum holds another secret. It is believed the Ark of the Covenant is here, in a church, seen by only one priest. Is it true? We don't know. There is a priest who guards the Ark. He never leaves his duty until he dies. Then another is chosen. This tradition has continued since Ezana, for 1,700 years, unbroken. Neither war nor time could stop it. Ezana returned from war. He raised an inscription. But this time, it was different. It read, "This victory is not mine, but by the power of God." Those inscriptions are still there. 1,700 years have passed, but they remain. Faith carved in stone still speaks. But this story didn't begin with Frumentius. Long before, people built something extraordinary in these lands. These stones still whisper something today. Let's go further back. 520 tons, one solid piece. These men will move it. No machines, no cranes, only human strength and relentless determination. Engineers soaked the ground. They greased the wooden sleds. Hundreds of men pulled the ropes, and the massive stone moved, inch by inch, 4 kilometers. It took days, but they did not stop. 33 meters, one solid stone. It rose slowly. Hands trembled, but they held on, and the stone stood. At the top, a metal plate reflected the sun, visible from afar. Beneath it, tunnels led to royal tombs. These stones were not just structures, they were a search for immortality. The largest obelisk fell during construction. The 520-ton granite crashed to the ground and shattered. Engineering did not always succeed, but some still stand. Ezana returned from war. He stood before the stone. He did not write like the others, and he wrote, "This victory is not mine, but by the power of the Lord of heaven and earth." That inscription is still there. 1,700 years have passed, but it remains. Faith carved in stone did not fade, and that faith reached far beyond these lands. We don't know where Frumentius died, but we know this: he came as a captive and lived as a bishop, and the faith he left behind did not stop. The faith brought by a captive passed to a prince, from a prince to a kingdom, from a kingdom to a continent, and today it lives in millions. No armies, no wars, just a table, broken bread, shared faith. And today, the same prayer rises in that church, in gaze, with the words Frumentius once taught. For 1,700 years, unchanged. The obelisks stand in the dark, the church is in the light. Stone gives no light, but faith cannot be extinguished. That is the difference. "1,700 years have passed. Wars came, famines came, but the church remained, because it was not built on stone, but in people." We return to today, the same land, the same stones, but that faith still lives. Aksum tells us this. Empires rise, stones are raised, names are carved, but they all pass. Only one thing remains: the faith brought by a captive.